Greetings, everybody. This is Winnie Wriggle, and welcome back to Valhelsia 2. We're in episode 6, and I'm standing in the new portion of our base today. You can also see I'm holding a chest. That's a hint for what we're doing today. We have got to do something about our storage issues. I went to go craft some stuff and get organized so we could make our portcullis, and yeah, our storage system, it's a nightmare. Here's what we're dealing with. Chests. Chests are great, but they're full. Like, I can't even get anything in our crafted chest, and don't even talk to me about the organics. This situation is problematic, but there is a solution, and it comes in the form of simple storage networks. So that is what we're going to set up today. I have started this by moving the doorway that used to give us access over to one side and clearing out this tower. So if we go upstairs, I'll show you that this is the existing tower from the old fort structure. And I've just closed off the entrance because we're going to use all this space in here to put an array of storage containers, mostly chests. Some storage drawers. For example, this is our cobblestone drawer. You just can't see that because we're facing the back of it. And I don't want to move it because there's a lot of cobblestone in there. So here is how a simple storage network works. We have to craft a storage network root, that is the heart of the network, and a storage request table. So if we set the root down, this is the block that all of the cables that all of our storage containers are going to be attached to. So think of it as the brain of your storage network. This does not require any power, which is fantastic for early game storage. Next up, we have the storage request table. This is the thing that allows you to access the storage, and it is JEI search enabled. It will display a list of all the items in your storage network, and it also has crafting. So you can pick an item to be crafted and it'll automatically pull it from your storage network into here and you can craft it, which is fabulous. So the way this works, if we want to hook our simple storage network up to our cobblestone drawer, we're going to put a link cable on the drawer that we're connecting to. And then the rest of the cable is just using the plain network cable. And we just connect them up. And then when we go back to our storage request table, we should see there's our 2K of cobble. You can pull it out here. You can also craft in the crafting grid. So now I'm going to move all of our chests and all the items into this storage tower and hook them up to the simple storage network. Welcome back. As you can see behind me, I have removed the workshop area from our living area now, I guess, and put my bed actually underneath the roof. But let's go take a look at our somewhat Frankenstein storage system. As we come through here, this is the area where all of our storage containers actually sit. You might notice I have 2 of the modular storage units from RF Tools Storage. These do not require power, and you can increase their storage capacity by adding storage modules. They both have, one has a tier 3 storage module, one has a tier 2. The modular storage itself is not very expensive. There's nether quartz, redstone, and then the machine frame, which is simply blue dye, some iron ingots, and gold nuggets. The tier 1 is relatively inexpensive, and it holds 100 stacks of items. That's basically double the amount of a double chest. The tier 2 and 3 upgrades require the previous one, so the most expensive one we have right now is a tier 3. It did cost 2 blocks of gold, a couple of blocks of quartz, and a block of redstone, but it's worth it because this holds all of our miscellaneous crafted items, like all of the armor, etc. that we've picked up, and we still have we're about half full, so that's great. The other one I'm using to hold building blocks because we have so many from mining. It's about 3/4 of the way full, but it still beats the pants off of the stacks of double chests I had scattered around the base. So now when we go around here to our simple storage network storage request table and I right click, you can see here are all of our items available to us in all of those different storage areas. There is a little bit of a syncing issue with items when you're crafting. They don't always go back into the containers they came from, but I've tried to solve this by using a few of the filtered link cables. To help address this with the RF Tools modular storage blocks, I've added filters. So you can take the filter out, shift right click on the container with all of its contents. And when we hover over the filter, you can see that it's been filtered to the items in that container. So if we put it back in there, now this will only allow these items to come into this. And I didn't have to use a filtering mechanism. Whereas over here, for example, our cobblestone storage drawer, I've used one of our filtered link cables and set it to only allow cobblestone. Now that we've taken care of our storage issues, it's time to get crafting so we can build a portcullis. We interrupt our regularly scheduled program to bring you Let's Build a Giraffe. Just kidding. This is actually the framework behind me for our portcullis. Let me explain. We could go ahead and build our gate inside the gate area. Right here where it's supposed to go. Except then, you wouldn't be able to see how I do it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to build our working portcullis using elements from the Create mod outside of the gate so that you can see it in action. Let's build. So the space we have to work with is 5 blocks high, plus the blocks that are actually going to hold up the gate. We're going to make that gate out of fence posts, so we're going to need a 3x5 set of fence posts. And then on top of that, we'll go the create blocks that hold it in place and move it up and down. So let's hop up on our framework here. We're going to start with the blocks that hold the gate up for us. Everything in my inventory is what we need to build our working portcullis. We will absolutely need 1 linear chassis, 3 secondary linear chassis, a rope pulley to move the whole thing up and down, some gears and shafts to get it going, and then we need a power source. And this time, we're going to use the encased fan. It's fairly cheap. It's just a little bit of andesite alloy, some wood, a shaft, some iron bars, and something called a propeller. And the propeller is fairly cheap, 4 pieces of iron and an andesite alloy. We're also going to use our wrench this time to help us configure the entire setup. We're going to start with our key block, the linear chassis. So they place similar to pistons and the direction we want it to face. So this looks like a piston face. We want that to face out. That's the thing that's going to move up and down. That's going to hold the entire assembly together. In order for it to stick to other blocks, we have to coat it with slime by right-clicking with a slime ball. The good news is you don't use up the slime when you make a surface sticky. It's like the slime is a bottle of glue. It's excellent. Now we take our secondary linear chassis and we're going to point them facing down. And you'll notice as I place them, they form a multi-block that's 3 blocks long. And they are now stuck to our linear chassis. We're going to break the blocks underneath because this is not the material we want our gate to be made of. Instead, we're going to make it out of fences. And as I said before, it's going to be 3 fences wide by 5 fences tall. So that is the gate construction that we are going to move up and down. Let's configure our gate using our wrench. You can see when we hover over the linear chassis, it says it's got an 8 for the range. And if you scroll it down, you'll see that white box change as I get under 1, 2, to 3. We want the range of what it picks up to be 3, and it's highlighted with that block. Each of these secondary chassis also has a range. And as you change them, we want them to be 5. Oh, because we don't have a highlighted block, it means there's something wrong, and that is I forgot the sticky. You need sticky everywhere you want a chassis to pick up another block. So we have to paint the underside of those with sticky. Now that our secondary linear chassis are sticky on the underside as well, you'll notice we get that white highlighted box below. The number is just in reference to the number of blocks that are beneath the linear chassis. So we need to set it to 5 because our gate is 5 fence posts high. And as we hover over each block, you can see it highlights just the fence post. So the linear chassis is going to pick up these 3 blocks, and these 3 blocks are going to pick up the 5 underneath it. Now we need a way for this entire structure to go up and down. And we're going to do that with a rope pulley. If we set our rope pulley right on top of the linear chassis and then give it rotational force, we'll be able to move this structure up and down. I could just directly hook it to rotational force. However, unlike our water wheel assembly, we want to be able to change the direction of that rotational force. We want it to spin one direction to lower the gate and another direction to raise the gate. So we're going to use a gear shift. A gear shift is a control to toggle the rotation direction for connected shafts. So if we put a gear shift between the rope pulley and whatever we're going to connect it to for its power, then we should be able to change that rotation by using a redstone signal. And you'll see redstone turns it on and off. Now let's give it some power. We are going to use an encased fan and a campfire in order to provide rotational force for this. And I'm going to extend this scaffolding out here so I can use it to place the fan. So we're going to set our campfire down, and immediately above that block, I want to put the fan pointed down, and they work kind of like a piston. So you have to get under the block and put the fan on the edge of the upper block. And you can see that that fan is down here pointed right at the fire. So we've placed it correctly. And if we give this fan a redstone signal, you can see that we get rotational force. So now that it's spinning, let's connect it up to our gear shift and pulley and have our gate go up and down. We're going to do the connecting with a familiar combination of a vertical gearbox because we're changing direction from side to side to up and down. And then we're just going to connect it with a simple gear shaft. And now it turns, and you can see our gate going down. Yay! If we want our gate to go back up, we just change the redstone signal on the gear shift, like so. And here comes our gate. That's great, Winnie. We have a working gate that goes up and down, but are you really going to climb a ladder every time you need it to go up and down when you're coming in and out of your fort? Yeah, no, we have a way around that. We are going to use the redstone transmitter and redstone receiver from the Essentials mod. And in order to connect them, we're going to use a linking tool. We're also going to use another block from Create called a powered toggle latch. And in a nutshell, this is just a lever that can be toggled by giving it a redstone signal. So we'll place our powered toggle latch where we had our regular lever, and you'll see it looks like a lever, but it's got a redstone signal sent out and a place for a redstone signal to come in. So we're going to provide it with a redstone signal using the redstone receiver from Essentials, set right there. And then let's go down here to the place where we actually want to activate that redstone. And I thought we'd just have a simple button on the outside of the gate. So if we put our redstone transmitter here, the other cool thing about the redstone transmitter is that you can color code them, so you can use them in multiple places around the base. So if I right click this one, it becomes yellow. And that's also a great way to know when we've successfully linked to the other one. The other one will change color as well. The way you do the linking is to take the linking tool, right click on your source, that is the redstone transmitter that's sending a redstone signal. And then we're going to go up to the receiver and right click on the receiver, and it gives you a nice message that says it's linked to this device at this location. And because this changed to yellow, I know that they're correctly linked. Now we got to be able to go down to the bottom here and use our switch to make the gate go up and down. Let's test it out. Yeah, working portcullis. That's really cool. It's going to make our castle so authentic. I love this mod. It's so cool. Okay, now I'm going to put this contraption that we just built inside the gate tower behind me. I'll be right back. And we're back. And now we have a working portcullis installed into the middle tower of our castle. Some of the mechanisms stick out the side. I've just hidden them with some of those dead wood trapdoors so they blend into the build. Let's go up and test it. Yes, that is so cool. The redstone transmitter is down here. I used gray dye to kind of camouflage it. And if we come back in... Yes, this is the coolest thing ever. I love this mod. Oh, so I am very pleased with our progress today in terms of a storage system and a working portcullis. I'm so excited about this. You know, there's really only one more thing we need to do to make this a perfect episode. Ta-da! Now that is a finishing touch. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you'd like to keep up with what's going on the channel, don't hesitate to subscribe. And remember, as always, you are the shiny stuff that awesome is made of. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.